Okay guys, I want to show you something for the homework tonight. So we're in module 3, we're doing this prompt number 11. I think the first 3 are definitely, you're all capable of doing the first 3. I said my expectation is generate overlay, faceted, or histogram. Actually, I want you to choose overlay or faceted, overlay or faceted. Should be straightforward. You should see in question 2, you're only comparing 2 age groups. You're just comparing 25 to 34 and 34 to 50. You're just comparing these 2 groups. For number 3, you're comparing work class, and you're comparing 3 groups. You're comparing government, private, and self-employed. I don't think overlaid it's going to work well. I think you're going to have to go with faceted histograms there. This last one here is new. This is number 4. It's wages by 2 variables, work class and age. So I want to show you how we do 2 variables. So I'm going to look at something. Let's look at something. We'll do something with wages, I guess. I kind of was hoping to show something different, but it's kind of hard. We don't got a lot of great variables to look at right here. I'll do an example of wages. So let's first filter employed individuals. Okay, and we'll do just 2 education levels. We'll do bachelor's. No, we'll do bachelor's, master's, and doctoral. Okay, looks good. The only thing maybe I want to do is also go hours worked. Give me up to 40 hours. Let's go up to full-time people that are working 40 hours a week. Okay, so I've just filtered employed, bachelor's, master's, doctoral, and 40 to 90 hours. So if I want to do a histogram of their wages, I could group by educational attainment, and I could get this to happen. But see, this is what I was saying. If you get this, you'll notice you're not seeing the best thing. Like the bin widths are kind of all weird. They're not the same bin widths. Like one bin width is small and it's big for doctoral, so you have to be really careful when you're comparing a bunch of groups. You always want to go density for sure, but density doesn't necessarily fix everything. It looks like now the bins are the same, or maybe not. It looks like maybe the bins are a little different. No. Yeah, the bin for the green is wider. It goes from 200 to 250, and it's 220 to 239 for masters and bachelors. So bins can get really messed up. You really want to control your bin. So you do have to go in and select bin width. And what I was saying is, I think for something like this, like 25,000 is probably pretty good. You could go 20 grand, but now watch. When you look at this now, you can definitely see everything going on here. But it's really hard. Once you have 3 groups, overlay is not really the preferred way to do this. You can sort of maybe make sense of it. If you hover over it, you can start to see things, but I would recommend here to not go overlay and do faceted instead. I like 1 column, common X, common Y. Now if you look at this, you should be able to see what's going on here. I'll leave this for you to make sense of, but it is, we do have bachelor's, master's, and doctoral. Now, now, I think it's kind of still sort of hard to make sense of this. So often what we'll do is we like to look at box plots here. Whenever you have multiple groups you're comparing, box plots become a much easier tool to do the comparison. So here now we can kind of see this a lot better. We can see bachelor's, master's, doctoral, and we can really start to look at like the differences in Q3, the differences in the medians, and the differences in Q1. Not to say there's not a lot of value looking here as well. I think there is a lot of value looking here, and we can make a lot of comparisons across these different fields and these different degree levels. But it's harder. It's definitely harder, but I think you can see things happening here. The trick is, though, you have to keep, when you're doing the histogram, you have to keep common X, common Y, one column so they're on top of each other, facet them, and control the binning strategy. Now, if I wanted to introduce sex into this, so now I want to look at degree level and the sex of the individual, what I need to do is I need to go to box plots. So I'm going to go wages, and now I'm going to select sex and education and make it horizontal. Now there's two ways to do this. You could do it like this, or you could flip them around and put sex here. So each one tells the story a little different. So if you look at this one here, it's doctoral, master's, bachelor's, and it's male versus female. So we can really focus in on the differences between males and females within each education level. If we go to this one here, just by changing the order, now it's the females and the males, and we're seeing how education is affecting the males and the females. There's some interesting trends to be noticed here. One thing, it appears, is that for the male, we're not seeing that big of a difference in the box plots when we look at master's versus doctoral. But for females, we definitely see a much bigger shift in the medians, which we don't see for the men. So the men are able to almost kind of like, the master's is doing very well compared to the PhD. For the woman, though, she's seeing a much bigger improvement when they go from a master's to the PhD. It also looks like just in general, the variability, how big the box is a lot bigger for men than it is for women. This one might, and maybe you wanted to more look at the comparisons between men and women. You don't get to see as, I think, this one's good, but you just kind of notice, hey, there's a big difference between men and women. You're seeing big shifts between the medians all the way through, and Q3s and Q1s. I think you got to make a decision on which one you prefer here, but you got to check. You can move that around, and then if you want to calculate summary statistics for this as well, you just type in a 5-number summary, add in the mean, select the variable, wages, and then do group by, and you can select 2 here, so you can go sex and you can go education. And you can flip these around as well. You can make it education and then sex, and it'll just change the order. So here you have all the females together. So if you look at this is organized where you have females, and then the degree level, and then males, and then the degree level. So you can really see the differences between the men and between the women. Or the other way you can do it is here you have the degrees and males, females, female, male, and you can see the differences between them. Again, it's a lot of information, so you have to kind of think about what do I want to focus on here. What I will often do in analysis like this is I will maybe just focus on the medians, and I'll take this data into a Google Sheet and I will just focus on the median wages. So for instance, this is what I would often do when I'm doing a 3-variable analysis. It just gets really complicated fast. So what you often will do with 3-variable analysis is you'll go into Drive, you'll create I'm just trying to open up a Google Sheet. So what I would do here is I would do like bachelor, master, PhD, and then I'd have female and male. And then I'd say, okay, what bachelor's median wage is $95,000 for females. For masters, it's 110,000. And for a PhD, it's 140,000. And then for males, it's 120,000, 172,000, and 1,845,000. Well, this isn't the homework I gave you. I don't think so. So now that I have this, I can just go Insert, chart, and I get something pretty nice here. So now what I have here, I might want to switch the rows. It's a decision you have to make when you decide how to handle this. I'm kind of mixed on which one I would prefer to use. They're both pretty good. But here what we have now is we now have graphed the median wages by sex and education. So here again, like I hope you kind of notice, like the females go from 95 to 110 to 140, so they increase by almost 30% from master's to PhD in their median wages. Well, men have a huge increase from bachelor to master's. This is like a 50 grand increase. But then when you go from master's to PhD, there was only a $12,000 increase. So we're seeing, and this is the same story that we saw earlier, it's like big increases for females going from master's to PhD. We actually don't see a big increase when females go from bachelor's to master's. It's only a 15 grand increase, but for men, it's like a 50 grand increase. So there's kind of weird things going on here, which I think show up pretty good here, but we probably could see them even better if we switched these columns. You could kind of see this slow increase, but a good increase from red to yellow. Here we see big increase from blue to red, but not that much of an increase from red to yellow. All right, that's kind of what I wanted to show you here. I'll go back to the homework assignment. So you're going to do wages by work class and age. That's going to be your 3 variable analysis. And I think I'm going to add in here, I want you to do a bar chart of the median wages. I'm going to add that in here right now. Hope that helps. I think I kind of went over a lot of the details here. All right.